looking at the game last week, it was a really tough game, obviously, that Dundee faced from there. And sometimes after a very tough game, you might think it would be good to have slightly easier opponents to follow it with, but in this league, there's not any. There's 11 other teams.
I'm sure Derek wouldn't agree with you with that. It's a really tough opponent we've got coming.
11 other teams are really tough. No easy game.
Listen, that's why we're here. That's what the league is. I think it's a brilliant league. I think there's some really, really good teams in it, good players, fantastic coaches and managers. So it's competitive every week, and if you're not on your A game every week, you get a chance. You put it to chance, winning a game, and maybe not doing yourself justice. So listen, every game on its own merit. This is a different opponent. Last week was a different challenge for the players. As I said, we probably only had six players that hadn't played at Celtic Park before, so that in itself is a challenge. But I think we came through it with a bit of credit. I think we'll learn from it. But now we move on to the next challenge, and the next challenge is Kilmarnock at home. And as I say, I really look forward to the home ties, because to date, I think the input of the Dundee crowd has been massive for us, and I'm looking forward to that again, hopefully amplified even more than it's been, because I know the importance, the players know the importance that the fans play in terms of helping us trying to get us out there. So looking forward to this one at home.
Do you view the home games really as must-wins every week that you're looking at? I know all games have to be won, but is that your target is to win the home games?
Well, we have said as a group we want to make sure that we've got a really competitive and healthy home record. So you can't come out and say a statement, you must win all your home games, but certainly we want to make sure that anybody coming to Dens Park, they realise it's a difficult place. They're going to have to be at their best to beat us, because it's not just us they're beating, it's a crowd there that are right behind the players. So that's the kind of atmosphere that the players, to be fair, have created, but the fans have jumped on, and the fans have been absolutely brilliant, and I just would urge them to keep that going, because it's so important, it's invaluable to the experience for the players on the pitch.
Do you feel your time at Kilmarnock, as closely as last season, has helped you this week in any of your preparations to the game?
Probably not, no, because I'm experienced, in terms of preparing for each game, and that was last season. Things change on a weekly basis in football, so it's just about preparing against your opponent, like we did last week. Celtic was a different opponent, different challenge. Kilmarnock's a different opponent, different challenge. I know they'll be really competitive, so I just need to make sure my team, and we've had a brilliant week's training, so in preparation for the game, I just need to make sure that they're ready, and I feel at the moment they are, they're game ready.
What made Dundee the right fit for you to come along here this season?
I think, as I touched on, I think there was a couple of options there. It was a frustrating time the end of last season for me, physically as well. So I just wanted to get back on the pitch and part of something that was really exciting. And I thought, coming in here, that was the case. I've been really impressed with the setup, with the kind of the ideas and the energy about the place. I think it's a real blend, a bit of experience that has also came in the door with the ones that were already here. And then I've always been an admirer of some of the young talent too. That's something that excites me, and I think, as I touched on, that can be the difference, that bit of energy and that bit of vibrance that other teams maybe not have in abundance. I think we have. But we need to go and show that. But that was a big sway.
Dundee have got a fair mixture of experience and youth that's coming in. How do you find that working within it? Because it seems to work well in the park, but from the players' point of view, how do you find it working?
I think that's not just on a Saturday, but day to day. I think that brings that energy, and I think with the manager, obviously it's his first gig on his own, but he knows the league inside out. He's been in about football for years, and I think he's recruited really well to add to as I say the guys that were already here. So I think especially coming back up into the league, all the bases and the foundations there for to really solidify ourselves. And we know there's going to be ups and downs, as inevitably there is in a competitive league, but I think we've got the groundwork there to go and do that.
And looking forward to Saturday, the game against Kilmarnock. Has the preparations this week been any different preparing for this game as opposed to what it was for the last game going away to Celtic?
No, not necessarily. I think obviously people would definitely think that, but it's horses for courses, one of the ones. You adapt to any opponents that you might face. It might be the same again for the following week at Ross County, for the the threats that they might pose. And I think we just need to go into that, as being the promoted team, as we go into the new fixtures, one by one, and see what everybody's giving it. But it's going to be highly competitive, as we've seen with the results so far. So I think we need fresh minds and ready to go into every game to win it.
And the fans last week at Celtic Park were fantastic. They'll be the same this week. They've been the same every week for Dundee. you know, it's a great fan base that they have here.
That was another big sway. You know, a big footballing city with you know, a big club, plenty of history behind them, and a massive fan base. You just look. Obviously, it was a home game, my first game up, you know, against Hearts. But even, you know, the travelling support to McDermott and then Celtic Park again is, you know, tremendous. Even my family come to the game were taken aback with the stands getting filled. So that's a great thing for you to have behind you as well as a team, and we need to use that to our advantage.